Hello and welcome into another edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks, and I'm your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI, and your host of this daily Sun Devils Insider Podcast. And I'm so grateful to be joining you on this Tuesday afternoon. As of this recording, we are a few hours removed from ahead of Arizona State taking on Kansas in their home finale for the 2025-26 season. This is obviously a big, momentous occasion for three Sun Devil seniors. Anthony Pig Johnson, Mo Odom, and Alan Mukeba will all be suiting up for the final time at Desert Financial Arena. All three of them have exuded what it means to be a Sun Devil. They have really done a great job of contributing to a season that, although it hasn't been as consistent as one would have hoped, no, after the 9-4 start, it has been an improvement off of the 2024-25 season, and it's given hope that Arizona State can still compete in an incredibly competitive Big 12 conference, especially at the top. But this game, for being the final home game for those three seniors, it also means that it might be the final home game for head coach Bobby Hurley. He is right around the corner from wrapping up his 11th season at the helm in Tempe. Uh, Obviously, most Arizona State fans know that Hurley is in the last year of his contract, and it's set to expire at the end of June. While Graham Rossini has been rather non-committal one way or the other, the widespread expectation is that Bobby Hurley will be out after this season, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Let's say Arizona State wins the last two games of the regular season against Kansas and Iowa State. That adds to their number of marquee wins, which includes Texas Tech, Hawaii on the road, and Texas in the Maui Invitational. They would have a lot of quality wins. They would finish the season at 17 wins. And then let's say you win one Big 12 tournament game, you get to 18 wins with a lot of quality wins in the toughest conference in Division One basketball. There's a possibility you sneak into the tournament and Hurley gets another year or two. That is a possibility, but it's a possibility that has to be very tempered. There's not a very strong likelihood of that happening. I'd give Arizona State about a 3% chance of winning both games. I think there's a chance they win one of the two games, but with one win and one loss in this stretch, that probably means that you have to win three Big 12 tournament games to even get in consideration to be selected. And that means that you're going to have to win Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which means that you're going to have to make it to the semifinals to even garner consideration. And once you get to that point, you might as well win it all. So, um, not looking great for Arizona State in terms of a postseason fate because I do not believe that they would accept a postseason selection if it's not the NCAA tournament, especially with the Hurley situation being a fluid one. If you keep Hurley through an NIT appearance, if you happen to make a run and you got eliminated in late March, early April, that already puts you behind many programs that already made a definitive change, including like a Providence, a Syracuse, some other teams that are very unlikely to sniff a postseason appearance at all. You're behind them in the process, and you're also behind in the transfer portal process. The portal obviously doesn't open until the end of the official end of the season, but you still don't have a coach and don't have a coach that's building up a staff. So if this really is the end for Bobby Hurley over the next week or so, I just wanted to talk about some of the accomplishments that he's uh, made at ASU, the potential lasting impact they brought to the program, and why some fans are just too harsh on him. Um, so at the end of the day, Hurley is the second most successful head coach in Arizona State history, I'd say. Uh, his record wasn't much above 500, but three NCAA tournament appearances in 11 seasons is incredible for this Arizona State program. I mean, you look at the talent that they produced: Jeff Ayers, James Harden, Eddie House. You've had several blue chip prospects like Jaden Quaintance and Josh Christopher in recent years. You'd think this would be a program that consistently competes, but the resources in the men's basketball program just what haven't been a point of focus, and that's why the women's basketball program and football program have had more success over the last several decades. And even with a major influence such as James Harden, they haven't been able to take off fully. Uh, that's not to say that's without a lack of trying for Hurley. There have been moments of the Hurley tenure where it really seemed as if Arizona State was going to break out as a yearly threat to win the Pac-12. That it hasn't, the footing hasn't been as strong in the Big 12, but Arizona State does have six victories in the conference this year, and that's a big step up from the year before, from the year one in the Big 12. And you've had, like I said, you've had moments where Hurley really had the fan base invigorated. The crowds at home were absolutely incredible. You had some really interconnected teams like the 2022-2023 squad. Uh, Hurley has really done a lot for this program. He's been able to bring in, like I said, massive blue chip recruits. Arizona State has been a place where players have wanted to come and play, even with some of the messiness. And I can go back and look at some points where the basketball program really got held back by situations, circumstances outside of Hurley's control. Um, COVID is really the first one that I can really think of. I think COVID hurt Arizona State's program more than it did a lot of others. It really hurt the home crowd too. A lot of the momentum that he had been built from 2017 to 2020 was evaporated in an instant. I think that once NIL got approved on a large scale in July of 2021, that was another inflection point. Hurley was not able to build rosters that were chock full of high-end talent because of former athletic director Ray Anderson's reluctance to support the Sun Devils financially in that manner. Uh, and that became clear when Arizona State was not able to retain a Devin Cambridge, a Warren Washington, a Frankie Collins. They lost to Joe Sanson and Jaden Quaintance after last season. Even if those weren't entirely NIL related, uh, the financials probably had something to do with it if I were to say anything. And overall, Hurley has done more with less in general. I know you look at the recruits, some of the recruits that Arizona State has did bring in over the last decade and say he's done less with more. But really, when you look at his tenure, the only building block that he was really left with from Herb Sendek was Trey Holder. He really built up he built the program back up from the ground up. There was real momentum 3, 4, 5 years into the tenure. He's done some great coaching jobs this decade with his back against the wall. He finally leaned into hiring a coaching staff that is more in line with the tactics of the game rather than the recruiting. He's really done some absolutely amazing things. And I don't think that Arizona State fans should discount what Bobby Hurley has done as the leader of Arizona State. Uh, and that's really all I have for today. Uh, if this really is the end for Bobby Hurley, I just want to thank Bobby for being a great interview all year, for being a gracious host to all media members, and for uh, Coach Hurley just being gracious as I was growing up as a basketball fan as well. I actually got had the chance to take a picture with him around Final Four festivities in 2017, and that was a really cool experience. He's a genuine person. He's a good dude, and he's a good coach. And I hope if this is the end, that he finds footing at another strong program, and he's able to really silence the doubters and continue to do that. Uh, Thank you so much for tuning into another edition of the Sun Devils Insider podcast, and I will see you with another episode tomorrow. Thank you so much.